A man from the agent's past rears his head one more time after escaping from prison. They're called in to help apprehend the suspect.
Could Scully be God's pawn in this mission to save innocent lives?
This is not happening.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I wonder
great.
I wonder which one Mike will use.
Am I sensing salt? Are you salty? I certainly meant nothing by it, sir.
No, I know. You're just finding efficiencies. It's all good.
Well. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You've caught us in the middle of a tiff.
A tiff, as they say.
Tiff over who gets to come first in the intros.
Dear listener, have you noticed a trend in the introductions? Who says what when? Have you seen or noticed anything in common with one episode to the next?
You know what I noticed? They all sound great, and we work well as a team.
What a great editing job is done. I will agree with that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. You're listening to This Is Not Happening, another X-Files podcast. I am your host, Mike, and with me, as always, my good friend Andrew, who feels a bit slighted. How are you doing today?
I don't think I've name dropped a title and done our standard intro in like 6 episodes.
I know, we haven't. I just thought it'd be fun.
If you ever want me to do that, you just say it, right?
No,
I'm
winging it.
Podcast is anymore.
We're winging it.
Okay.
So you can do whatever you want each time. That's the new format.
It's the new format, the uncharted territory of podcasting.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Ever since season 6, we've been going willy-nilly, and it's been fun.
It's pretty free form, that's for sure. Hey, you know those Millennium guys that ran out of work when their series got canceled?
Yeah, what about them?
Well, if they're not directing episodes, they're writing for them.
Oh. Who wrote this one, Andrew?
Like this one, in fact. Chip Johansson.
Chip!
Good old Chip coming off of Millennium, coming in to write Orison, of which we will be speaking tonight.
Yeah.
Do you know what an Orison is?
It is a man.
No.
What is an orison?
It is a prayer.
Oh. Robert Galen prayer.
Yes, that's exactly what they had in mind. No. In Hamlet, there's a very famous line where he says, "Nymph, in all thy orisons be my sins remembered." So he's flirting in a really nasty way in that sense. When you're praying, think of me in a really sinful way. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Dirty Shakespeare.
Well, that's spooky. Spooky.
Yeah.
Has a good meaning here, I guess. A little bit on the nose.
No, it does not have good meaning in this episode. This episode is a turd.
Oh, no. God damn it, Andrew.
I'm gonna bury the lead.
Uh-oh.
Talking about the title. It's not good. I don't know why they did this.
Boom, 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 boom. I mean, well, it's obvious when you have show notes, production notes that go, we had this cool idea for a prisoner escaping from prison. Oh, we could just throw in Donnie and then write the show around it.
Yeah, there's some history there saying that, in I guess conventions where they've talked about it, they've said they did want to come back to previous characters. I mean, I guess it's a rich ground upon which to tell stories for the ones that got away or the ones that have been captured. They certainly did with Tombs to great effect. So why not do it with some of your other heavy hitters? And yeah, Donnie Faster from Irresistible, he's a solid villain. I guess if I'm going to summarize what I don't like, they take it too far.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to ask, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
And just do me this favor.
Okay.
There's a point where I will ask you how you feel about this episode.
Okay.
So until we get there, you're free to talk about it. No. You are free to discuss the episode and what's going on, any thoughts you might have. But let's reserve our issues until that point, because it is a little bit of a setup. So I'm gonna get to it, and I definitely will be throwing it to you for anything you want to say.
Okay.
I just feel like there's a point where the setup completes itself and it's a little bit longer than usual. If that makes sense. But
It does. I will say this. I was thinking about it on my way back from work about this one. And I put my cards on the table, didn't like it. And I started being a little reflective on, am I being too hard on this episode, given that it kind of lives in company of episodes like Milagro, where on the first watch of that, I hated that episode. If you try and take it literally, it's a terrible episode. But if you withdraw it from the sort of DNA of the show and look at it as its own thing, I had the same response to Little Green Men from season 2. They've got these stories that in isolation are actually very interesting, but they're horrible as pieces of
X-Files
a whole
episodes.
Yeah, exactly. As the characters we know, like they don't make sense as the storyline we've understood, it doesn't make sense. And yet, you've got this compelling drama unfolding. So I almost look at Orison as maybe this another case of that, where if I just really suspend my disbelief, I really get outside of my own head about what this episode is, maybe it's okay. But as you'll understand later, I just think that there are a lot more issues with this episode structurally compared to just, is it a good episode or not?
I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Absolutely.
But first, I want to shout out a couple of people there. Scott Wilson as Reverend Orson. You saw him as Herschel Green in The Walking Dead.
Herschel! Absolutely.
Banger performance. Can't
absolutely.
Fault it. Emilio Rivera, you've seen him before. He's one of the bad biker dudes in Sons of Anarchy. In fact, he plays a lot of bad bikers, I think.
Yeah.
Quality actor.
Good stuff.
There we go.
Good stuff.
Names dropped.
Oh, that it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going still. All right. Well, what do you say we drop into this episode? We snuggle up to it and let Satan wash over us and escape from prison.
I believe the time is nigh.
God's love will set us free. We open with a prayer. A priest, played by Scott Wilson, again, Herschel, ministers a room full of convicts. If I pray for that love, if I get down on my knees and allow God to enter my hardened, lonely, miserable heart and change me through and through, that miracle will come. Do you believe? He asks the room. Quiet nodding and agreement comes as he begins asking a few men directly. As he addresses the third person, the camera lingers behind the convict for a moment, and then we see his face. A clean-shaven man in his 40s, short hair, chiseled face. His eyes stare directly into the priest's as he sits silently, perhaps defiantly. It's none other than Donald Addy Faster. The priest continues on. It's not just a slogan, it's a promise from the Lord. The prayer intensifies. He turns to the room as he comes back to the front. All you have to do is believe. The room begins to energize. Shouts of amen ring out as hands go into the sky jubilantly. The guard stands by, at the ready. Doesn't that lift up your heart, he asks, and he begins chanting, Glory, Amen, stomping his foot with each word. The men repeat it, stomping their feet in unison as the Father sprinkles holy water upon them row by row. Over and over again he says it, they repeat. The only one not repeating is Donnie. Feet still, quiet. We cut to the workshop where all the men are working in sewing machines and saws. Donnie heads to the security guard to turn in some work. The guard is disgusted with Donnie and asks him if he believes all that crap at the prayer service. Donnie is distracted by one of the Latino men sawing some leather, his feet calmly tapping along to the chant as he works. Glory, Amen. The guard rips Donnie's work and tells him to try again, to Donnie's dismay. But just then, a scream sounds out. Both men look back to find the Latino convict screaming at his station. He lifts up his hands. Both have every finger cut off. The room begins to hustle to his aid, and the guard bolts past Donnie. But something's happening. When Donnie turns to see the commotion, they're all moving incredibly slow, like someone has slowed time to a crawl. He scans the room, confused. Mark Snow's ominous howling synth echoes in our ears. Donnie quickly makes a decision and walks through the slowed men with a determined pace. He dodges them with ease, and as he makes it to the other end of the room, he tosses his homework behind him and walks into the camera. Credits!
Of course he walks into the camera. That's a classic Donnie Faster move right there.
Yep.
Get that
I
one out of the way
appreciated it.
early and often.
All right, Andrew. How did this opening catch you?
It was good. Interesting. That leather machine looks just perfect for chopping off fingers.
It is, yeah.
The minute I saw that saw weaving its way through the leather, I'm like, somebody's losing a finger.
Somebody's going down.
Now, losing all your fingers, I'm trying to visualize with that particular device how that happens.
I think that's a bit much. I agree with you there.
I don't think that the show has ever been accused of being conservative in its gore, especially this season. So I'm not surprised.
No.
I will also, this is Rob Bowman at the helm, so you know it's going to be good. And I will give them credit for the technical aspect of how they did the slow motion scene.
Oh, absolutely.
Several
takes.
Have you read up on it? You know how they did it?
I have a little bit. They did several takes. They did a lot of maneuvering, and they kind of spliced it together, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't have the very specifics of it, but yeah, it was not an easy thing. And I believe, since we're going to come there later, Scully's apartment, relatively short, but I think that took a whole day to do.
Oh, the
same
fight
idea.
scene.
Yeah. The fight scene and the slow-mo at the end.
Oh, yeah, good point. That slow-mo, I think, is easier than what they've done here because...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They have Donnie walking in regular speed and everybody else is in slow motion. So my first thought was, oh, well, everybody's just walking in slow motion. But there are various things which give it away, like the guard, his walkie-talkie antenna is flapping around on his butt.
Right.
In a way that you can't have that in real time. You can have the guard sort of fake running in slow motion, but everything would still be the same. But that is clearly he's moving at some velocity. So, yeah, pretty good CGI in 2000 to composite those two shots together.
Yeah, it's not.
Donnie's clearly moving in real time, and the others are clearly not. So they must have done some careful camera work so that when Donnie moves around everybody else, they'll have a shot of him alone in the workshop doing his movements, and then they'll have a shot of all the other inmates and the guards doing their chaotic thing. And then they merge the two together. But if you don't compose it just right, like know where Donnie's going to go, then the merge will have Donnie going through somebody who's
through someone.
framed.
Yep.
And
they did a nice job here.
They did a great job here. It was enough that I'm like, shit, did they just have the actors go in slow motion? But no, it's really well done.
No,
that
yeah.
is the nicest
I think
thing I'm going to say about this episode, by the way.
Oh, God. I think the scene was just long enough and just cleverly shot to not really call into question. Like, we're doing it obviously because this is what we do. We're reviewing it, we're tearing it apart. But the shots of Donnie walking through, it looks very natural. Yeah. Especially the side shot where he's going right to left. And then, like you mentioned, that scene where he's coming towards the camera and he moves out of the way of someone. That's clearly a composite shot, two different takes. And they use a computer to kind of interject everything in there. But I think it was really good, and it's so quick that you accept it. You can't really look for flaws unless you're slowing it down and taking it frame by frame. So I think it's really good stuff.
Yep. No, it's great. I do like Donnie's expression as he realizes what's going on. Like you see it transform into, oh, this is an opportunity for me. And I'm just gonna go. I will express my doubts as to why this is happening, but I will save that for later as per your request.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Let us continue. Scully lies in her bed. It's dawn. A gust of wind from her open window wakes her. She gets up to close it and checks her clock. Mysteriously, it reads 6:66. Her room loses power and then regains it after a moment. The clock now reads 6:06. Editorial corner, Andrew. I don't think so. Donnie thinks so.
Well, I see
That
what
would
you
have
did
been
there.
flashing 12 a.m. and they know it.
I just want to say, if I ever had a clock that accidentally told the time is 6:66, it's new clock time.
Just get back in bed and close your eyes. It's all a dream. It's all a dream.
It's
I'm
hammer
not doing
time to the
anything
clock,
today.
and go to the consumers distributing the next day, pick out a new clock from the catalog, and have it arrive 4 to 6 weeks later.
And the sticker with the fake time is 6:66. No!
I just can't get out of this shit. Yeah, I don't like that bit, but anyway, you know I wouldn't like it. So
It's fine. It's fine. We cut to U.S. Marshal Dado in the prison workshop. He addresses the agents and hands them Donnie's file. He's escaped. They're requesting the agents' help in the manhunt, understanding who they are. Mulder informs the room of Donnie's crimes. A death fetishist, defiled bodies, a sick man who snacks on women's fingers. Spending 5 years in prison will likely have worked up quite an appetite. Scully reviews the file and looks at Donnie's photo. It's the face of a man who preyed on the living, scavenged from the dead, and abducted her to fulfill his heinous desires. The photo's eyes stare back at her as the old memories come back. The marshal asks about their work on the supernatural, but Scully interjects. There's nothing supernatural about this man. He's just plain evil, and leaves the room. Out in the prayer room, she looks around. She hears soft music coming from an overhead vent and recognizes it. Mulder comes in cautiously. He's worried about his partner. Donnie escaped a maximum security prison and no one knows how he did it. He knows why he's here, but he does not know why she is. What Donnie did to her head 5 years ago left his partner in a state he had never seen, alone, helpless, and terrified. He tells her to go home, but she refuses. That man does things to women no one should have to think about. She doesn't have a choice.
So let's get to work.
No, this isn't the first incident. 2 prisoners have escaped from maximum security facilities in neighboring states over the past year. At 6:06 this morning, Donnie Faster made it 3.
6:06. And what's so supernatural about that?
Dozens of witnesses, guards and staff, and no one seems to remember anything. For a while, they didn't even know these guys were missing.
Have they been apprehended?
No, neither of the men have ever been seen again.
Hey, did you catch the little audio quality difference?
Oh, yeah. That was a different take. At 6:06, I catch that all the fucking time. Every TV show I watch, I'm like, nope, that was a different take.
Clearly a cut in. I mean, you don't see him talk, so I think it's just like, yeah, we got to revise the, the way he said that, or, he's got to do some ADR to get the real thing in there. It's like in, God, was it Fire? Where they did that like 6 times?
Yeah.
Look out, he's got the accelerant. And
He's got an accelerant. So the audience knows what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Because it's just so poorly written.
They would have figured it out, but sometimes you could have clubbed them over the head.
What is that, gasoline?
I want to call out the amazing set dressing on in the chapel, like the Bible sayings and sort of religious sayings that scatter on the walls. Like when they walk in, you see the phrase "sheep go to heaven, goats go to hell," which is a great cake song. And then as it goes around the room, it literally says "rust in the Lord" because the T has fallen off.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if they just found this room and they're like, this is going to be a great place for us to shoot our
We're going to
scene.
use this. This is fucked up.
This is so 7. It's going to be great. Or if they totally made it themselves. But I mean, they went to town on this room. It totally looks like a prison.
Absolutely.
Bad guy chapel.
Very believable.
Yeah.
Well, we cut to an interrogation room. Mulder sits across from Brigham, the Latino man whose fingers were mangled in the pre-credits scene, but he sits at the table, hands intact, relaying his experience. He doesn't know what Donnie did. Mulder asks about the shop. What happened to your hands? You cried out. People say they saw your fingers cut off. But Brigham felt it, and he says God works in mysterious ways. He says it with a smile. And Mulder extends his right arm, palm up, and gently lifts it. Glory, amen, Brigham says. Confusion washes over Scully's face as she watches from the window. Mulder slowly raises it again. Again, Brigham says, "Glory, amen," his foot going up and down with the chant. Out in the hall, the agents confer. Post-hypnotic suggestion, Mulder says. Programmed behavior prompted and manifested by suggestion, a group hypnosis. She immediately pushes against the idea Donnie Pfaster hypnotized anyone. Mulder, however, isn't suggesting it was Donnie. 3 inmates from 3 different prisons are missing. The same chaplain, Orison, visited those prisons. A sound catches Scully's ear, and she turns to listen. Once again, she sees a vent with a smooth, romantic song. It's a dark version, Andrew, of Don't Look Any Further by The Temptations' Dennis Edwards. I don't know if you read up on that, but they had
I did, but it's not actually Dennis Edwards singing it.
No, it is not. No, it is not. It is a cover of that.
By who?
By I didn't write down who did it.
Scott
Who did
Hyatt.
it, Andrew? Yes, that is right. She hasn't heard the song since high school, but she's heard it twice today. And Mulder makes a joke to disregard it.
He makes a better joke than that. Come on. I'm trying to find things to like about that episode. This is one of his better quips.
Oh, it's good. Absolutely. But, you know, he does disregard it. I mean, he's like, let's move along here.
No, he says, well, I guess now you'll never think of it as a makeup song or makeout song because they're like in a prison.
Right. God damn it, Mulder.
I want to talk about the song a little bit because
Okay.
they're clearly trying to lay the groundwork for the song as a plot thread.
Mm-hmm.
And the title of the song is Don't Look Any Further. Right.
Right.
And that is literally going to be spelled out as a clue later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, maybe I should save it because later on, Mulder's going to say, does he ever talk to you? And there's the song. And the implication is that God is talking to Scully through this song. You know, is this the sign she's supposed to be taking away? And literally the message is, don't look any further. So
what shouldn't
she be going home and getting into bed at this point?
Right.
I mean, God is telling her, get off the case. But as a hero, she can't.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with this.
I will get to it.
Okay, please figure it out for me. I am ready for you.
Well, I didn't say I figured it out. But...
Not a doctor. What? And I'm sorry, I have another thing I got to bitch about at this point. I cannot go before it without going on this point. The Mulder figuring out the post-hypnotic suggestion, raising his hand to get Bingham to evoke the glory, amen, and that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How he just like does it, and suddenly Bingham, where does this idea enter in that Mulder figures out he can do this, and then just goes and does it? He came out of thin air.
It's a thing. It's a thing. Well, we go now.
You're just going to skate by it. Okay, all right.
Well, I'm getting to the point where I'm throwing it back to you.
Okay.
It has not come yet, Andrew.
Oh, I'm sorry for breaking the rules.
That's all right. We go now to the bus stop. The station is bustling, and making his way through the crowd is Pfaster. He enters a local diner and sits. When he looks at the counter, he sees a waitress with deep red hair and painted nails. Immediately he's taken, staring at her nails with an absence of subtlety, but is interrupted by a sex worker who casually offers up her vagina for him to eat. She plops down in the booth across from him.
I don't know what episode you saw.
Did she say you're looking for something to eat? Sorry?
Were you watching the Sex Files and I didn't get the right notes?
What else are you pulling from that?
Okay.
Anyway, she plops down in the booth across from Donnie, snapping him back to reality. She's strung out, thin. He glances at her hands, and she asks if he's a cop. He tells her outright she needs a buff and polish. She chuckles and calls him a freak. He tells her he just got out of prison, but the woman's confused as to why a convict wants to do her nails. The waitress calls out to her, tells her to leave the customers alone. Donnie clarifies, "I'll even do your cuticles." A voice from behind him, "You receive the Lord's grace, and this is how you repay him." He turns slowly. It's Orison, but he doesn't care. Donnie sees a patrol car pull up to the diner. It's the grace of God that got you out, and it's what will keep you out. Dado and a couple officers get out. Donnie asks the strange Orison to do something. He flashes his car keys with a silver crucifix chain. Seeing the agents coming inside, Donnie protests, "We aren't going to make it to the car." It's now that Orison loops a keyring around his finger and begins to jingle them rhythmically. As soon as Dado spots them, Orison chants, "Glory, Amen." He continues jingling. The world slows again, and a scream sounds out. A male customer is attacking the waitress, hand over the counter, grabbing at her. She grabs the coffee pot and whips its boiling contents at the man as Dado is distracted by them. When the officer looks back, the two men are gone. We return to normal speed. Dado is confused as to what exactly just happened. Everything is calm in the diner. Outside, we hear the exhaust of a car, and as Orison emerges from in between two buses, Donnie, at the wheel of the car, runs him down. The old man crashes into the windshield and rolls off like a rag doll as the car brakes. Inside is both Donnie and the sex worker. He throws the car into reverse and attempts to back over Orison, but he rolls out of the way and passes out. Donnie swings the car around and drives off. All right, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
That is the full setup of what's going on here.
It surely is.
So, I wanted to get a little ways into the episode. It's a little bit of a setup. I want your thoughts on what's happening so far. Are you on board with the method of what's happening, or, which, as I suspect, are you having major issues with it?
The train has careened off the tracks and has rolled over several times in a major transit disaster. It's on fire, chemical smoke spewing from the cars. It's a bad scene, ladies and gentlemen. That's my perspective. How about you?
Are there any survivors?
Totally for you? Is the train coming on time to the station?
As we have come to be, I think I'm softer on it than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, I have an issue with Mulder's reach into thin air and pull out a tactic that just happens to be right with the prisoner. I'm willing, and again, I'm an apologist, I guess sometimes. I'm willing to give it a pass because there are previous inmates that have gone missing. So maybe Mulder has investigated what's going on and what could be going on. So he has put together or pieced together that this one man has been in contact with them, and he must have done some form of hypnosis in order to get these convicts out. That's my head logic as to how that works, so I'm okay with it. But it is a little out of nowhere, so I do agree with that.
Okay.
As a premise of Donnie getting out of prison, I'm okay with the idea of the hypnosis. The gore was a little too much for that. And then, of course, I'm definitely upset about the alarm clock. But other than that, the train for me is still on the track. Okay.
Okay. I have a couple of issues with their own logic. I guess what we've established is that Orison can put the whammy on a group of people just through the force of his will. You know, he uses his hand, or he has the power of mass suggestion in a room. Mm-hmm. In the prison sequence, he's able to do it, you know, to a willing audience or whatever. They're all enraptured with him. And it's a sort of post-hypnotic suggestion. Later on, it sets up a cue that Donnie can escape. Here, he's doing it in real time, and it seems to not only slow down time, but create a distraction. Like it makes a man randomly try and grope the waitress, and she responds with a thrown coffee pot. Oh, you're raising your hand for an objection?
I'm raising her? Well, there's a distraction every occurrence. So the guy getting his fingers cut off, that's fake.
Okay, all right. I amend my argument. No, fair.
I'm with you when you're first watching the episode. You're like, well, what is that about?
Yeah.
You know, because it didn't actually happen. But then Mulder goes into the projection of the will or the image explanation as to how that works out. So he's projecting a distraction to allow these people to escape unnoticed.
I suppose I could be reasonably swayed there. The other problem I have is that when they start this scene and the cops are outside and Donnie gets up and says, "We're not going to get away," there's literally a door on the other side of the diner.
Yeah,
like the camera angle shows them, and then there's an empty hallway and there's a door at the end of it. It's like
a big red exit sign.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good blocking. They should have blocked it off with a palm tree or something. But
those cafe diner palm trees.
Yeah, as you have. The thing that really gets me in this is I don't understand Reverend Orison's motivation at this point, because it waffles as to what he wants to be doing here. He shows up mysteriously able to find Donnie, saying, "Is this why, the grace of God got you out? Is this what you're doing with it?" So it implies that you should be
a savior.
Yeah, you should be thankful that God got you out of prison and turn your life around, atone for your past sins. Like this is your second chance or something. Like it's really alluding to that. But then Mulder's theory is that he's releasing these prisoners to exact God justice on them, which frankly Donnie sorely deserves. So I guess the setup of the opening is that he believes that these folks can be saved. So I'm okay with that, except I also don't understand how they get separated and then Orison gets run over. It's
that. Yeah, that is a confusing cut. There's a scene missing in there where they walk out of the diner and Donnie gives them the slip and grabs the arm of the hooker or whatever. I don't know. That is confusing because from our perspective, he jingles his keys, they disappear, and then all of a sudden Orison's by himself between two buses and Donnie's in his car. So what did he say? Pull it around?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that one over there. Go pull it around.
I'll meet you out front.
Very confusing. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
A little choppy.
I don't really enjoy the choreography of the scene, like how they needed to get to a certain point. They needed Donnie to get away with Missy, the call girl. They needed Orison to get put in hospital.
Simple. Just do the X-Files thing, hit Orison over the head with something and take his keys and get in the car. Why are you separate? Why does he need to be hit by the car?
Yeah. Toss him out the door as you're driving away.
Something different.
Yeah. I think they wanted the drama of a guy being hit by a car and they had a stuntman on call, and maybe they got a special. They got to use 20 stunts in a season to get the discount rate. I don't know.
Well, we're already paying for him, so we may as well use him.
He better show up.
Get the breakaway windshield. All right.
That's the laundry list of my issues with the setup so far. I'm not really buying Orison. Like, I feel like he should be a better judge of character with Donnie, because he knows of his past. He knows what he's all about. So I don't know.
And I think the idea is, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Well, the agents arrive sometime later and meet with Dado, who sits in a booth and seems a bit beside himself. He doesn't know if he saw him. They're trying to ascertain what exactly happened. While the confusion persists, the waitress interjects. What happened is a guy got hit by a car. She's doing just fine. The man grabbing at her was a distraction. Didn't actually happen.
Yep.
Orison. He's at the hospital clinging to life. Scully's attention is now once again drawn away as she asks the waitress to turn up the diner radio. It's "Don't Look Any Further" again.
Sounds like a CD I have at home.
We go to the hospital. The agents visit Orison, who lies in his bed.
You're lucky to be alive, Reverend Orison.
Who are you?
Special Agent Dana Scully.
Believe in the Lord, Agent Scully. He believes in you.
That's nice. But my partner and I are more concerned with several disappearances from maximum security facilities that seem to involve you.
Don't be concerned. God has them.
What do you mean? Reverend?
You're a believer, aren't you?
This has nothing to do with me, sir.
It has everything to do with you. You have faith. Have had faith. You hear him calling you, but you're unsure what to do.
It's not exactly a long shot, sir.
You stand as you do now, neither here nor there. Longing, but afraid, waiting for a sign. When the signs are everywhere.
What happened to the inmates, sir?
Everything has a reason, Scout. Everything on God's earth, every moment of every day, the devil waits for but an instant. As it is, it has always been. The devil's instant is our eternity.
Well, she's caught off guard by the name Scout. Mulder comes in. He asks him plainly, how do you do it? He tosses him some photos. They depict a young woman in a bathtub of blood. The sex worker. Orison is moved by this. She wasn't supposed to die. Mulder puts out his theory that Donnie was supposed to die. You were supposed to kill him. Orison is Robert Galen Orison, convicted of first-degree murder who's done 22 years. He claims God asked him to look after Donnie. The scene abruptly ends with the agents out in the hall. Mulder calls him a liar, but Scully asks how you can prove someone isn't being directed by God. Mulder says God is the spectator, Scully. He only reads the box scores. And I actually think that's a pretty cool analogy.
That's a callback to the unnatural, if we were paying attention.
She doesn't believe that, though. Donnie isn't dead, and they don't know if the other inmates are. She doesn't believe God is directing Orison, but that he believes what he's saying. Mulder again dismisses him as one of many nutbags. Then he turns the conversation to her directly. Has God ever spoken to you? She's a bit offended at the implication of the tone of his question. He asks her what God has told her. She takes a breath and says she's heard that song 3 times now. It has to mean something. It didn't mean anything until yesterday. She was listening to that song when she was 13. Her mother told her her Sunday school teacher had been killed, murdered in his front yard. It was the first time in her life that she felt real evil in the world, and now Orison has called her Scout, a moniker the teacher gave her. Donnie Pfaster escaped at 6:06, exactly when her power went out. Without an answer, Mulder summons her. Come with me, Scout. I'll show you how the Reverend works.
Wait a second here. Didn't her father call her Scout?
Starbuck.
Starbuck. Oh, I've been misremembering it this whole time.
You thought you had one. Score one for the episode. Episode
Ooh, egg on my face.
-30. Andrew won.
I still dislike the Scout drop-in. This whole
it's convenient.
this whole parachuted narrative of my Sunday school teacher got killed in his front lawn, and that's the first time I learned of real evil in the world. It's like
A little convenient.
lazy storytelling. I mean, give me a flashback if you're going to do that. But, and the song is what made her remember. I mean, that's a weird series of events. And further, yes, God is speaking to you through this song, but she doesn't know what it means. So what's the value of it? They do this
That's for
all
her
the
to
time.
figure
It's one
out,
of these
Andrew. That's for her to figure out. Why did she drop the keys in All Souls?
It's don't look any further. Can it be any clearer than that? Is God
God's
on the
sitting
hunt
up there
for-
going, I thought I made it pretty clear, Scully. But no.
I keep on telling you to go on vacation, and you just keep on pursuing this case.
It's literally him like following her as she investigates the case. The song just gets louder every time.
And the lyrics
Please,
change.
you're not catching it. Don't look any further, Scully.
Take some sick time.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't look any further.
Go to Hawaii.
Catch a Mariners game, eat a hot dog, don't look any further. I think that should have been in the episode.
That, yes, is exactly what's going on. That's what's missing.
I think Mark Snow missed an opportunity there.
He did. Well, we go to some random national park, some desolate park somewhere. Donnie sits listening to the radio in the car. The broadcast is describing him, the suspect, and a detailed description of his vehicle. Immediately, he takes his switchblade and begins tearing off the fabric top of his vehicle so as to not appear exactly like the vehicle was described. He opens the trunk and shuffles through bloody clothes and finds Orison's ID and house key.
Oh, he's going to become Orison. He's going to change his appearance, and he's going to put on a dog collar, and he's going to walk around like a stiff old reverend. And it's
I'm
great.
Orison.
My name is Reverend Orison. I like your fingernails.
He's going to start ministering to convicts in prisons. He just assumes his identity.
Not awkward at all.
Well, Mulder shows Scully a scan of the Reverend's head. A cerebral edema, self-inflicted. There's a hole in the skull which allows more oxygen to the brain. He did it when he first got into prison and learned to use its power. Theory time, Andrew. Our mental capabilities are limited by blood supply. In the Andes, holy men used to remove parts of their skulls or drill holes to perform mental tricks. Stopping the world is one of those tricks. Maybe they can create a disparate reality projecting their thoughts through hypnosis. But why? Donnie is serving a life sentence, Mulder says. That's the final judgment in our society, but not for God or someone believing they're God's tool. She asks if he's meant to kill Donnie. Why is he still alive? Mulder says maybe he unleashed something he wasn't prepared for. By releasing Donnie instead of just releasing a man, he opened the gates of hell.
Devil.
So that kind of answers your one question.
It's horrible. It's an absolute garbage explanation. And let me back up. I've heard of this. I've heard of the theory, maybe in the X-Files before, but and I think it's cool.
I also have something to say about that.
Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. It's wasted in this episode. They should have taken it and made a whole episode on that. Frankly, it explains Pusher better than it does explain Herschel, Herschel Green here.
Right.
I wish they had just said that he's channeling the power of God. That would have been easier as an explanation. Or don't even bother explaining it. It's just, he can do it. Like, It ruins an already not great episode for them to try and explain how the power works. I know they're spending time going into the post-hypnotic suggestion. Mulder's a smarty pants for uncovering it. And now this is how he can do it. But it just raises more questions. Like, how on earth would Orison decide he's going to drill a hole in his head to do this trick? I do not buy that.
Well,
so I just think
Andrew,
it's wasted.
I got you. It is wasted. I will say that. But isn't this exactly what Mulder did in Demons in season 4?
100%.
So why can't Mulder do it? I mean, obviously he hasn't trained for it or whatever the fuck, but
they plugged his head back up though. They filled it with cotton, and now he's got regular blood.
Patched it over with concrete. He's good. Yeah, all right.
He's got a steel
Smooth
plate
it
in his
out.
head now. No, you're right. That's exactly right. That's where I heard it before. It was a plot point that they used. So they're going back to their own pages, and you can do that. That's fine. But
it's the same, but it's different because in that episode he was doing it to recover memories.
Yes.
Because the increased oxygen or whatever. But now that also allows you to perform hypnosis on people. I don't know.
Well, soon it's going to let you run super fast, probably too. I don't know. The number of tricks you can pull out of a hat with that particular brain exposing shortcut.
My other issue with this scene, Mulder doesn't believe the God devil aspect. He obviously thinks that's a bunch of hooey.
Mm-hmm.
But his wording in this scene makes it seem very religious or in keeping with that theme of religion. Is that for Scully's benefit, or is it just the description as seen through Orison's eyes, do you think?
I think
or is it just bad writing?
I think it's bad writing. I think it's the writers trying to be poetic and speaking through Mulder in this point, and David Duchovny being like, yeah, that's a cool line. I'll totally deliver that. Even Scully wouldn't say that. So the line is right for neither of them. I think it is setting up the fact that Donnie is going to be looking like a particularly demonic Donnie soon enough. Yeah, it's just garbage, man. I don't like it.
We'll just stop the episode. We got it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Oh, I'm sure I've got more I can take the piss out of in this episode.
Oh, I'm sure you could. It's that time, everyone. The Magus Media Production sales pitch. Please check out our homepage at magusmediaproductions.net so you can stay up to date on all of our shows. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Magus Media Productions, both of which have our Discord link on it, where you can join us for live shows as we record them for future release. At Magus Media Prods on X, our Patreon, patreon.com/MagusMedia, where a $5 donation will help us keep the lights on and bringing you new content, and you get some stickers. Thank you for your consideration and support. So we go now to Orison's hospital room. His monitor beeps away as he lies there, accompanied by an agent reading a paper. The two lock eyes, and Orison musters the strength to begin chanting, "Glory, Amen." The beeping gets deeper, slower, and a shadow moves around the agent. Orison standing, he grabs his gun and leaves.
Point of fact, the beeping does not, in fact, get slower. The tone goes down. It goes.
The tone goes down.
But what should have happened is it should have been less beeps per minute.
Right.
Horrible
All right,
episode.
fine. Whatever. Well, usually you say that as a joke, but you're just being redundant now.
Kind of really showing my cards here.
Inside Herschel's apartment, and yes, I said Herschel, the camera pans around. It's messy, unkempt, and quiet. In the kitchen stands Faster in his underwear. Nice ass. He's sealing bags with ice and fingers inside. A knock at the door as he puts them in the freezer. A woman from Tip Top Gentleman Services is here as requested. She's a stunning woman with red hair done up in a red dress. She mentions that she was stopped downstairs by the landlord and told that a Reverend Orison lives here. When he says he's not a reverend, she lets out relief. They always want the weirdest things. The beauty slips off her short jacket and places it on the coffee table. Faster's eyes zero in on her hands as they seductively move back to her thigh. Red nails. He stares at her and gives his lips a little lick. She sees an inner struggle within him, and instead of fearing him, she responds with a question. Is there something you want to say? The camera pulls into a Dutch angle on Donnie's face as he speaks. Love your hair. She's oddly calm in this instance, Andrew.
Oh,
I'm not a woman, but if a strange man looked at me the way Donnie looked at her, and for that long, I'd probably be creeped out. Even if I was a prostitute.
Listen, she's already fine with the fact that he answered the door in his underwear. So
right, she didn't even phase her. Oh, I see your head schedule here.
I think
I know what we're here for.
Thank you for advancing the plot. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt as a character.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we come back on a bath faucet. Water pours into a filled, sudsy tub. Her fingers turn off the water. She relaxes in the bathtub, surrounded by candles. In comes Donnie in a bathrobe and an armful of hair products. She's a bit put off by this. I'm clean. Everything's clean. You ain't putting no product in my hair. Donnie was trying to be a gentleman, though. But she asks for a towel so she can leave. This is getting too weird for her. He fetches her a towel and helps her put it on. As she turns around, he admires her hair, the curls, the pinup style. Its softness and color take him, impossibly red. But something's wrong. At the base of her neck, he sees something. Brown hair poking through underneath. It's a wig. She turns around, alarmed. They lied to me. He rips off the wig and tosses it aside. A musical sting sounds the revelation of brown pinned-up hair. You lied to me, he bellows. Before he can get violent, she grabs a large candle and whips the wax at him, smashing the jar. She hits him again, and he falls backwards, dazed, and uses this opportunity to escape.
I like that she's not helpless. If only Scully could learn from this.
Well, all right, let's not knock Scully. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
At the hospital, the agents come in. Orison's gone. The agent guarding him still holds his newspaper in a daze. He has no idea where Orison went. Scully spots a note by his bed. On it, "Don't look any further," is scrawled. Oh my God. She shows Mulder. What does this mean? She didn't tell him. She only told Mulder. Well, maybe he overheard, but she didn't mention the name of the song.
You know what it means? Not a goddamn thing is what it means, because they don't connect to it at all.
At a loss, Andrew. He tells her maybe it was meant for her then. Don't look any further. He tells her, don't look any further.
Why don't you go on vacation, Scully? Go to Seattle.
Back in Donnie's bathroom or Herschel's bathroom, one of the two.
Hey, are we going to talk about that Marshall's career being over instantly?
Everyone's a mistake.
Everyone gets one.
Yeah. You get 1 day's hypnosis mix up.
So let me get this straight, Donnie. No, his name can't be Donnie because that's our villain. Terrence. He's going to be Marshall Terrence.
Terrence.
So this is the exit interview we're going to do here. I'm going to be your supervisor and you're going to be Terrence. Are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Marshall Terrence, can you explain to me what happened when you were?
I was raped.
Orison? Well, you do get one, so I guess that's fine.
I was reading
Garfield.
Yeah, let's just say Garfield. I was reading Garfield, and I saw Orison, and then I didn't, and he was gone. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
Career over right there.
No, but I have a wife who's pregnant with twins.
You should have thought of that before you signed up for the Marshal Service, Terrence.
You should have thought of that before you passed out and let the guy leave.
Before you got drunk on the job.
God damn it. Terrence, get out of my sight. You're gunning your badge. Donnie staggers to his feet and goes to the sink mirror. A gun raises and cocks behind him. Orison preaches, "Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by men shall his blood be shed." Donnie talks to him through the mirror. What are you doing? With determination, Orison says, taking you home. The wicked will be punished.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I need to call out this scene because Donnie wakes up and then Orison does his menacing gun click thing, where he pulls back the hammer of the gun, so we know he means business.
He means business.
But this means that while Donnie was unconscious, he literally walked in the room and sat on the toilet and waited for Donnie to wake up.
And then scurry across the room.
Because
here he is.
We know how the bathroom's set up because we've seen the reverse angle.
Right.
So has he been watching Donnie in his sleep, sitting on the toilet?
Yes. Or he's just arriving now.
No, he's not, because we see from Donnie's perspective the doorway is clear and then Orison's there.
Here I am.
Hey, you're awake now. All right, now I can threaten you. I don't like that Orison now figures out that Donnie's a sadistic death fetish killer.
You son of a bitch.
I
don't think that he didn't know. And it is, I'm not against you.
Okay.
I do agree there is a lot of issue with this episode. I don't think that he didn't know what his past was. I believe that he always knew he was an awful person and wanted to do the Orison thing, whatever the fuck that is. He chose Donnie.
Well, we do know that he told Scully or Mulder and Scully that God told me to look after Donnie. It's like, really? Okay. By look after, do you mean, look after or, take care of him? Like, maybe that's what God was implying?
Good little Donnie. Good little Donnie.
I want you to go there and take care of him. Oh, do you mean take him out for a movie and dinner? Or
Why are you giving him clothes and food?
I said take care of him. Oh, well, I thought you meant the nice way. Okay.
No, you can hang him. Or crucify him. Either way.
Either way, whatever you feel.
It can be, I'm open to whatever you want.
Use your creativity.
Yeah. Well, we go now to a forest from the pilot episode. Wait, no, the forest from Rush. The forest from EBE. Well, anyway, it's a forest.
Back to Vancouver. They're done with that.
No, it's a forest with epic backlighting is what it is.
You just put a truck in the back and shine the lights up and you got epic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We see two silhouettes against a pale blue moonlight. Orison digs a grave as Donnie kneels and cries. We have never seen him like this. Orison tells him to find humility and allow God in. Repent for God's love. Donnie lets out a childlike whimper as he sobs. Are you sorry for what you've done? Donnie mumbles through the tears. Never. Orison leans over and presses both his forehead against Donnie's and the pistol against his chest. Beg for forgiveness for what you did to those helpless girls. Donnie musters strength to speak cogently. My violence is always waiting for an instant, for when his back is turned. You can see it now. Orison asks, are you crying for your sins or yourself? But Donnie declines both. I cry for you because you cannot kill me. The man's helpless visage dissolves into a red demonic face with yellow teeth. Orison gasps and steps back. The next morning, it's a crime scene. The agents arrive to see Orison buried in the grave, dead, dirt being brushed away from his face by the examiners.
It's funny, when all is said and done, there's not much mystery in murder.
And for that, I owe you an apology, Mulder.
What do you mean?
Well, you were right. I was looking too hard for connections that weren't there. Orison was a murderer, plain and simple. He liberated those prisoners so he could bring them out here and pass judgment on them.
I guess in his own twisted way, he was making good with his God. Glory, amen. Let's go home, Scully.
Donnie Faster placed the call to the police that let us out here. It's almost like he's begging us to hunt him down.
This X-file is over. Lying dead there in a grave he dug himself. Let's let the U.S. Marshals take over from here. Don't look any further, Scully.
All right, Andrew.
Don't look any further.
Are you ready for the climax finish of this episode?
I am. I'm just realizing I would have loved a better, what do I want to say? The edit for this scene should have been that Orison takes Donnie for his execution now. Like they get him out of prison and they do this execution, but Donnie gets away. Mm-hmm. And then we have the rest of the episode. Like the indiscriminate, you got to repent, you could lead a better life, God wants me to take care of you, and then suddenly turning around, girl wasn't supposed to die, now I'm going to find Donnie and I'm going to put him down like a dog or whatever, all that stuff. Right. It's just confusing to what actually turns out to be the plot. And it was confusing, and I didn't like that they made it confusing either by accident or intention. It just wasn't clear. And
it's about to get a lot muddier.
Yeah. And there's really nothing to the fact that Donnie made the call which led the police out here. I kind of figure it's so that he can follow Scully back, maybe. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, because otherwise, how does Donnie find Scully's apartment? I don't understand that either.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready for the big climax.
All right.
Yeah. Here we go.
Well, Donnie arrives to a dark apartment. He looks around. It's empty and quiet. He pushes a bedroom door open and spots a Bible. He puts it away. Scully, too, arrives home after the long journey. She puts her gun down and takes off her suit coat. From the closet, Donnie watches. So it's the same apartment, Andrew. The next scene, obviously, there are two sets of scenes getting interlaced with each other. One follows Scully, the other one follows Mulder. So she finishes undressing and putting on pajamas. As she goes to the closet, her alarm clock catches her eye. It says 6:06, and her power goes out again. Then she spies her closet door ajar, a sliver of an opening, a crevice to a pitch black void. Her mind races. Someone's here. She runs to shove the door closed, but instead is knocked back by Donnie swinging it open. In Mulder's apartment, his answering machine picks up. It's Dado, who's spoken with a call girl. She identified Faster as her attacker, and that he got real upset she was wearing a red wig. He comes in after the message ends, of course. Meanwhile, Scully and Donnie fight. He begins pushing her against a wall and strangling. She gouges at his eyes. He gasps in pain, allowing her to get a good swing in, knocking him aside. She launches for her gun on the dresser by the room door. Before she can unholster it, he tackles her into the dresser's big mirror, shattering it. She fights with ferocity, knowing if she relents even in the slightest, her fate is sealed. It's an intense fight, Andrew. We don't have to do a play-by-play, but it is violent. And I imagine Jillian and Chinland had a load of fun doing this because, you know, she likes getting physical from what I understand. And it probably was fun just because they used to work together on Irresistible. So probably a good time to, hang out, throw each other around the room with an old friend. No?
Oh, 100%. Sorry, I thought you wanted to do the whole scene before I
no, I mean...
No. Please continue. I'm enthralled by your description.
As the fight calms just a little bit, she drops a shelf on him and runs out to the room with a phone. Before she can make a call, Donnie throws her down and binds her hands. He notices her nails and asks who does them. She doesn't beg for her life, but yells she's the only reason he's alive. She asks the judge to spare his life. He leans in a bit, and against her furious struggling, he coldly states, "You're the one that got away. You're all I think about." Exhausted, Scully mutters that she's a federal agent. They will not give you a break this time if you do anything. And he just says, "I'm going to run you a bath." She lets out one last blood-curdling, desperate scream as he muffles her. In Mulder's apartment, he gets ready for bed. As he flicks through his alarm clock to set it, the song "Don't Look Any Further" comes back. He sits back inquisitively, toothbrush hanging out of his mouth. He lets it play as he thinks about his partner. Throughout the rest of the scenes, the song plays quietly. Donnie drags a bound Scully into a dark room. Be good and don't cause any trouble. He slams the door as he exits. She can hear the bath begin to run and the phone ring. No answer. Donnie hits the stereo to play. Of course, it's the same song. As he prepares the soapy bath, the music quietly reverberates throughout the apartment. Scully struggles to see underneath the door, across the hall into her room, her gun on the floor. Gotta say, that is a pretty big gap. I've never been able to successfully look under a door. I don't know how she does this, but...
Yeah.
He goes to another room, and we see that she has somehow scurried beneath her bed. She struggles to turn around, scooting across the floor. Donnie, however, continues preparing and digs through her kitchen for a pair of scissors. He finishes preparing the bathroom with 100 candles, and I'm not exactly sure where he got all of those, but apparently Scully is a Scentsy fan. I don't know if she just had those laying around or if her bathroom always looks like that, but okay.
Listen, I think she's invested in the...
I believe she has a candle collection. Yeah, I'm willing to go with that. I've known a lot of women who love candles. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It just strikes me as convenient here.
100%. Do you know how... There must be 50 candles in there.
There's at least.
Do you know how long it would take to light all those candles? And the room would be 1,000 degrees in there.
You see a layer of smoke, because there's so many. The window's not open.
He passes out from carbon monoxide poisoning.
He asphyxiates and she survives.
And meanwhile, she's already on a flight to Seattle because it took him so long to light all the candles.
Right.
There is a passage. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. I'll let you finish.
No, it's. I thought I had to. I broke my own train of thought because that was a lot of fucking candles. Well, Scully strains to loop her bound hands over her legs. Success. In the living room, Donnie flicks off the music. It now turns to an ethereal, discordant, howling tone that comes in long, sustained waves. The world slows again. We see him approach the bedroom door. Inside, Scully is still on the ground, struggling. Behind Donnie, the front door kicks in. Agent Mulder comes in, gun drawn. His mouth calls for Donnie to get down as the agent holds him at gunpoint. Donnie just looks at him as Mulder approaches. He grabs the man's shoulder to apprehend him. Donnie turns his head back to see Scully walking down the hall with a gun. She stops at him with a bloody face. We see a spent bullet casing hit the floor. The overhead light at the front door shatters. A spray of sparks shower down, distracting Mulder. The gun, pressed against Donnie's midsection, fires. The mechanical slide going back and forth slowly. When Mulder looks back, he sees Donnie fall and his partner holding the gun. A look of shock on her face. Did she really just murder someone? The apartment bustles with police activity. Mulder goes to Scully, who's in her bedroom. He asks her to pack a few things and they can leave. She picks up her Bible from where Donnie left it. Mulder knows where his partner's head's at as she quietly moves about the room. 7 years together, he can read her mood without words. The Bible allows for vengeance, he says. But the law doesn't, she admits. He leans into her. The way he sees it, Donnie didn't give her a choice. His report will reflect that. Donnie Pfaster would have indeed killed again if given the chance. She calls Donnie evil without a doubt, but what she can't be sure of is what was at work in herself. What made her act and pull the trigger? Was it God, he asks? With a delicate chime of Mark Snow's triangle, she asks, what if it wasn't? Credits! Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God, Andrew. All right. Let's get into it. It's 8:12 here, 9:12 your time. Let's see if we can get out of this before 10.
Okay. All right. Scully's going to bed at just past 6 o'clock at night.
She was getting ready for bedtime a little early.
It's still light outside.
Yep. I caught that too.
Marshall Dado leaving a message for Mulder, the red-hatted prostitute. We never see Mulder hear the message, so why do we have that scene at all? I mean, that's
because it creates tension.
It creates tension.
Like he comes in missing the message.
It allows us, the audience, to link that we know where or why Donnie is there, I suppose. My big issue with what we have just seen in the big fight, which does have, I agree with you, like it was probably a fun time to shoot, and it does work in some ways. I consider Scully a pretty intelligent character, like smart, wily, got some good wits. I imagine you would as well. But she's constantly making the same mistake in that she is running away from Donnie when she clearly has him on the ropes. 3 times in this fight she does this. She's got him on the ground, she's kicking the shit out of him, and then she decides to go for the gun. And that's when he, comes up from behind and clobbers her one. She beats the shit out of him again, throws a bunch of drawers on him, a shelf on him, and he's down for the count. Yeah. She runs for the phone, and he manages to run after her and whack her again. It's like, if you're in that state and you've got the drop on somebody, and she's also in law enforcement, so she knows restraint technology, right? Like, she probably would find a way to restrain him in that scenario, especially if she keeps on bludgeoning him. Right. I understand they want to have a really intense fight, and they want to show that Scully is a strong woman who can defend herself, but just choreograph it differently so that, frankly, Donnie Faster's just a better opponent, as opposed to she's constantly trying to run away, and that's when he gets the advantage. I don't buy that choreography. So that's kind of what I wish they had in that scene.
I mean, I get your complaint. I do understand that. The question of why doesn't she try to bind his hands or something while he's down, I can understand that.
Just keep on bludgeoning him on the head and neck so that he's...
I mean, she's not... she is a murderer.
Yeah.
Can't really use that argument, Mike.
Yeah.
I want to think that they felt she needed to get to a point where she kept losing in their struggle. And this is why she's pulling the gun out and shooting him. Like, this is where she's like, there's no safety with this guy. There's absolutely no redeeming qualities to him. So I'm just going to fucking kill him. Is it easy for me to is it easy for me to believe that in the heat of a moment like this, she's vulnerable, she's in her apartment, which, by the way, where the fuck are her neighbors?
Oh, I was thinking that too, especially when the fight is going on.
God damn. Yeah. It's just another day at the Scully house.
Yeah, boy, that's Scully. She's really had a hard day at the office.
She's always throwing people around. What is she doing? It's easy for me to believe that she would go for a phone. I'm not saying it's the smartest move, and I'm not defending it to defend it. I'm saying I know she's capable. She's demonstrating that she's capable in a fight. She did get the upper hand. I can see that she'd want to call for help, especially because this guy has once again abducted her. So maybe more hands on scene.
I think that's really the biggest crime here, is that they are essentially just rehashing the original episode in the sequel. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, Irresistible was a plain better episode.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're going to the exact same climax where she loses. It looks like Donnie's going to win, but then Mulder sweeps in at the last second and saves the day. So I'm sure I had my issues with her being a damsel in distress then, and she is kind of again this time, only she's had a chance to fight, so she's not, she's just overpowered. And I'm okay with the direction of that plot, except that it's just lazy choreography that gets there. Like, she can put up a fight. I have no problem with that. But if she's going to be defeated by Donnie, make it because he's just fundamentally stronger or is able to overpower her, not because she is undone by her own mistakes. I don't accept that she is as poor a fighter as she turns out to be with her decision making. Once she gets taken out by her attempt to go for the gun, why is she running for the phone? Run for another weapon, run outside, do anything. But it's like, I just, the awkward choreography of the fight really bothers me there. And I can't reconcile that with the character that we've been presented. As to your point of her decision to kill him at the end, because she recognizes he's always, that's the only way out. Specifically, the whole plot has come to a point of, no, she killed him because the devil got inside her. That is what they want to say there, is she can't be sure that it wasn't the devil that made her do it, essentially.
They want it to be obscure.
Yeah. I get that, she's pissed off that, this is the second time he's put her in this position and she's made a decision she's going to put him down. I'm okay with that. But
that was one of my questions.
I can save it for final thoughts, but I guess we're kind of there, aren't we?
Well, we're there. We don't have to formally go into them. You go ahead and say what you got to say, but I think the discussion is very much worth having as to the aspects of this episode and how not how it relates to the first one. I don't care about that because I mean, obviously, Irresistible wins. So,
well, I got two other things.
Go ahead. Yeah,
but I got two other things before I go into my final summation here. Don't Look Any Further is literally on her CD player. He pushes a button and it plays. So that tells me two things. One,
well, that's the devil. That's mystical magic.
is just his superpower. He can touch a thing and it makes the song play.
I think it's Jesus coming through like, hey, I'm going to try one last time.
I've been telling you all episode to not look any. This is just what you get, Scully.
This is what you get. You got to hear it while you die now.
Yeah. So, okay. I will pass on by because that's probably the least offensive thing in the episode so far. There's literally broken glass on the floor. So the idea that she can't get out of her bonds, whatever, we'll pass that by that. The last thing that bothers me, and it's just the wrap up here, like it's a career-ending moment that she shoots the apprehended suspect to death. That
right.
Mulder is going to agree to cover up, with this, it looks to me like you didn't have a choice. It's like, nope. I think you pretty much had a choice there.
She had plenty of opportunity to think this through.
So at the very least, it's an indictment of law enforcement closing ranks to cover up the incident. But
right. And it poses an interesting question, which I don't think I don't want to be like, ooh, what is the greater meaning behind it? For such an episode like this, we're able to look past it, I guess, because she's Scully, right? And we like Scully, so he's the devil, supposedly. Mm-hmm. So we're okay with that. But at the end of the day, she murdered someone. So it's like, okay.
Well, here's what I want to say about that. And I got two things. I'm gonna completely pass by the fact this is a retread to Irresistible. So they decide to actually make Donnie Faster the devil. They have the whole face-changing moment when he's with Orison. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they did it for any actual reason other than it's cool. Orison can't kill him, but Scully can. That's an interesting bit of plot logic. So maybe Orison saw Donnie as the devil. I mean, he wasn't actually the devil, but they did not need to do that. Other than they needed to cement what they saw in Irresistible, I think. And I have a feeling you want to say something to that.
Well, and I do want to bring up, like you are, this is one of the big issues we have with this episode, right? It's too literal. Is he really a fucking devil or the devil or whatever? One thing I would use, and I'm challenging even myself because rewatching it, I was like, is he really the devil or a devil? And I was looking at it and I'm like, he never presents himself that way to Scully. So is it a case of kind of what she went through in the first episode with Orison, where she saw it because this is her first real interaction with this guy. And his nature is presenting himself as a devil, as she saw him in the first one. Just for a moment. Is that what's happening to Orison? He's realizing he can't control this man because he's so evil, and Donnie's just using verbiage that will play into that. Like, I wait for but an instant, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't present himself as a devil to Scully, so I'm like, that could be a mind logic thing. Yeah, maybe he just was taken by his aura, if you will. The true Donnie was finally revealed to him in essence, not that he's actually the devil.
Well, that makes more sense than he is actually the devil because
yes,
apparently Orison can't kill him, but Scully's got no problem just sticking a gun in his gut and boom,
one bullet.
Done. Yeah. Oh, more than one, I think, the way they play that scene, but. I'll leave that in abeyance because it's bad writing, but it's not the worst writing in this episode. Right. I think probably the thing that I take issue with the most is it's such a big ending for Scully. Like, she does really wrestle with the fact that she's killed this essentially helpless suspect. Like they got him. Mulder came in and they were able to essentially. It looks like they're about to overpower him, but she made the decision, no, I am going to kill this man so he's never going to threaten me again. And she's going to, that would, in any other episodic television show, that would be a character-defining moment.
Right.
We are never going to see this stain on Dana Scully ever again in future episodes. It is never going to be, I'm pretty sure, we are never going to see her as anything but the character she's always been. She's not going to take an ends justify the means position. But we're just going to, as an audience, be asked to forgive and forget this transgression ever happened. You know, as soon as the credits come up in this episode, we're done moving on. You know, Donnie Pfaster is now a postscript in the X-Files history. And I think it's a real shame because it's this huge thing. They could have
gone somewhere with that. Yeah. And I don't know where exactly they could have gone. Would she be on trial? Obviously she would be, but how does that resolve in a different show? I think that would be kind of cool for the show to have explored, but at the same time, it's like, now you're fucking Law and Order, unfortunately.
Well, the easier way out is obviously that she has her justified kill. You know, she manages to save herself, finds the gun and blows him away as he's trying to do her in.
That I think, like, you know, she's getting up from when she knocks the shelf over onto him and she pulls the gun and shoots him. I think that would be a little bit more justifiable than what happened.
Yeah, at least a little bit more gray that they don't have to go into this, you know, law enforcement
at that point
conspiracy.
Do I really care that she did this? No. I mean,
you make my point for me.
He's so evil that you don't care that she's committed a crime. Now, I do care because it is not the best writing. She is definitely a moral fiber character. I think what they're going for, and I'm not apologizing for it, I do believe this is an error, a pretty big error in the show. I think what they were going for is, like, they keep saying the devil waits for but an instant, and the devil chose to get rid of Donnie in that moment when everyone's distracted. And I'm not saying this is accurate. I'm just throwing shit out there right now.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of where I went in my head when I was watching it again this last time. I think, you know, it's fine. Scully was possessed for a moment. I can forgive it on that level. I don't necessarily think she was possessed. I think I'm good with it either way. What I really care about is how cool the shot is. I think the last segment,
it's
despite any errors in combat, the whole fight scene leading up to the credits is pretty awesome. So
if I just take it as presented and don't overthink it, it's well choreographed. Like, there's no obvious, you know, she threw a punch and he dodged, you know, you could see it miss or whatever. No, the choreo is really good. It's just the reasoning behind it and the sort of architecture of the fight bothered me a little bit. The slow-mo ending, I also have no problem with. Thematically, it fits with what they've set up. It gives a huge gravity to that moment. My problem is that there's no lasting payoff other than she has a mere moment of self-reflexive doubt over what she's done, where any male character would be like, well, not going to have to worry about him anymore.
I think, and this is as far as I'll take it, I'm not going to get any headier than this. What would have been a cool story arc, because she's always at the center of these religious focused episodes. Does this really count? Kind of, because God is quote unquote talking to her. Is it a religious episode? No. But I think what would have been cool is if she's grappling with this through a series of episodes down the road, where she knows she's committed a crime. She's murdered a convict, however evil he is. And how does she resolve that with herself? No, it's, you know, leave the law out of it, leave the business out of it, the law and order out of it. I think if she's grappling with this huge thing that she's done for 2 or 3 episodes, not necessarily back to back, but just season 8, season 9, she gets a couple episodes or 1 episode each to really grapple with what she's done. I think that would have been kind of cool.
Or just in future episodes, instead of casting her as the constant scientific naysayer, that she has a different character angle now based on the experience she's just had. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
maybe she doesn't have to be that character, and it could prompt a real change in their relationship. You know, when he looks at her and says, you know, you've changed, or what's different about you. And that's the callback to this moment that's happened, but we're never going to have that. You know, it's, they very much wanted to just put the chapter stop on the Donnie Pfaster story, give her a resolution to it so she can move on as a character. I mean, nobody, I don't think, is ever pining to know whatever happened to Donnie Pfaster. So
Right.
I guess we're given this plot arc and treated to this experience, and then it's over and we walk away going, well, I guess that happened. They've done better with less in previous episodes, is I think where I'm going to land with this one.
Absolutely. I gotcha. The mentality behind this one had to be like, we want Donnie to go out with a bang. And I don't mean that pun wise. I just mean,
Absolutely.
we want to do something really cool to give a send off to one of everyone's favorite characters. And whether or not the episode itself deserved it, it got a cool send off. At the end of the day, it's flashy. My biggest issue with this episode is the music. It's too obscure and unnecessary. And I don't mean that because it's bad. I think it's just kind of a thrown in there plot element.
In the end, it's really more meaningful for Mulder than it is for Scully. It's what gets him off the couch to go and see if she's all right.
Right. And I think she could get there with Orison just calling her Scout. She could have put all those pieces together without the music.
Yeah.
Have him just call her Scout out of nowhere, and she'll be like, something's going on with Jesus or something.
Yeah.
So the music was just unnecessary. It was like, here's another reason why she's getting on board with this and why she's confused. She doesn't need the clock going 666.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the wind blowing
Yeah.
and it being 606. Why do you need to do the 666 thing? I'm okay with that. Come back to it. That's what alerts her to the fact that Donnie's in her apartment. That's fine. I'm okay with the power going out for a minute. The 666 thing's dumb, and the music is unnecessary, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. And God, if I never hear that song again, it will be
Too soon.
Yeah.
No offense to that guy.
Oh,
Decent song. Very well recorded.
great voice.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
overused is that song.
Never gonna listen to it again.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew. Well, it is 8:33. We
made
did
it.
20 minutes on the
We
end
made
of
it.
this episode. I think we're good.
I think we are too.
I had fun talking about it despite the episode's flaws. I look forward to anyone's thoughts on this. Please feel free to post them on Facebook.
Yeah. Maybe Orison's
Again,
a
with
much
any
better
episode, but-
episode than we think. I still not by that expression.
Well, here's my thing. Here's where I land on this one. I like it. I don't know why.
Okay.
I think it's Chinland. I'm drawn in by him. He's a great character actor. He's, God love him. I mean, he's a creep in everything I've seen him in. But, I mean, here and Con Air, his two iconic roles.
Yep.
I like seeing Nick Chinland. He's a great actor. And watching
100%.
him and Scully go at it was a real joy. And the artistic nature of the slow-mo stuff in this episode, really cool. So it's like just enough to keep me coming back to it because it's Donnie Pfaster. The ending's fucking cool to me. And I like Nick Chinland. I don't know what it is, but
And maybe you don't need more than that. And that's cool.
I don't. It falls in a like to me. Do I always come to it? No. But do I hate it? No.
Well, I'll look forward to where we land in our top 3, bottom 3 at the end of season 7. I think you know where this one will
My
land for
number
me.
one is fucking this episode.
This episode right here. Well, are we going to close the prayer book on Orison?
Yep.
Have all thy sins been remembered?
Yep. Let's close it up. And if you would like to say goodbye to the good listeners, please do so, sir.
Only piece of advice I will give to our valued listeners, is if your clock starts blinking 666, it is new clock time.
I still think it would have been 12 a.m. Flashing. Alarm clocks give no shits. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please rate and review on your podcast app of choice. Andrew and I would be eternally grateful to you fine people for helping us expand and get the word out. Also, we've got a killer group on Facebook. Feel free to join in on the discussion at facebook.com/groups/thisisnothappeningpod and become an official member of the syndicate. We do polls and we have questions for every episode to give you guys the opportunity to chime in and possibly let your voice be heard on our recordings. And please join us on our new Twitter at tinhxfilepod, no dash, to stay up to date on everything, moment to moment. Thank you, and remember, don't stop swimming.